What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Sham, also known as the BJJ Lender, coming at you with another episode with my partner in crime over here, NASA Rocha, our monthly special. Today, we're going to be bridging two worlds, as you guys already know what we focus on here at the BJJ Lender, the art of Jiu-Jitsu and the game of real estate. So, my boy, none other than NASA Rocha of SmartVest Capital here, took some time today. Thank you. I know we busy, middle of the month. Yeah. Fresh off getting his purple belt and at the same time passing his real estate broker exam, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. So this week we're going to be talking about the jump from agent to broker, as well as how to survive as a property manager. And I'm going to hit y'all with some tactical tax game. All right. How to use the REP, real estate professional status, on your tax return to choke out your IRS bill legally. Now, with that out of the way, hit my fucking intro, y'all. Okay, guys, so part one of today, as usual, every month, what NASA and I go over is the state of the market. So in the state of Texas, at least, what are you forecasting, bro?
Man, so we were talking about this morning. It's about, what, 6.99?
6.99 this morning.
As far as, like, interest rates go. As far as, like, the housing market's going, at least in Houston, is about a little bit leaning towards the, not a little bit, a tiny bit lean towards the buyer's market. And, there's a lot more inventory than there has been. There's at least 6 months of inventory in Houston alone. Dallas is very close as well, has a good amount of inventory as well. So the Texas market's looking strong. The economy itself is looking strong. The stock market's looking strong. When all those three indicators are looking strong, that means like we're going up and like we're doing what we're supposed to. I'm not really hearing freaking people tossing recession around left and right. Like, everything is going as planned. Freaking rents are going down in certain areas. Freaking values haven't stopped going up. They're not going up in a cyclic rate like they were in the past, but it's still appreciating like it's supposed to, at a healthy rate. But other than that, I mean, we're looking at a good, healthy market as we approach summer. So it's pretty exciting to see, especially for what we do, especially in the investment real estate world.
Yep, and it's the best time of the year too. Things are heating up just as the Texas weather, Houston weather is heating up right now.
It's like 100 degrees right now.
For real. It's like 95% humidity or shit. It felt like it in the morning, for real. But real talk. So like you said, interest rates right now are 6.99. It's going up north in the past couple of weeks, but it's been hovering around that 6 to 7.5% range for the past couple of weeks, and I don't see it going anywhere.
Right.
And the other thing that's good for us, well, it really doesn't affect us as much right now, is tariff talks are down for another 90 days. We're going to revisit it most likely at the end of summer, like August, September. Yep. And that's when we're going to see what the fuck's going to happen. Because real talk on that one more time, bro, is the truth is this tariff thing is going to be, on hold constantly over and over because countries are going to be negotiating. This is just Mr. President Donald Trump just putting his foot down today just so he could go into, negotiations.
It's just leverage, man. I mean, he's getting the leverage that we've lost over the last couple of decades. Especially over the last freaking term of presidency. Yeah. So we're just regaining leverage that we have. Facts. I mean, we're the United States of America. I mean, we help every country out there, and we're one of the biggest importers and exporters of goods in the world. So, I mean, the fact that we get taxed and tariffed by other countries, but we don't do the same thing. I mean, it just needed to be done. I mean, right now that's getting slashed. I know we were at a war with China as far as like a tariff war. They're at 130% and I think 120. And now it's about down to 30% in favor of us and 10% in favor of China, given that we export more from them and they really are self-sufficient on their end. So that's where the 30% doesn't really hurt them too much.
And China doesn't need us.
Right.
China will find another buyer tomorrow.
Sure.
Not even yesterday.
Yeah, they're pretty self-sufficient. I mean, it's a big country. I mean, they're one of the biggest exporters of goods in the world. I mean, that's just what it is. But, I mean, everything's balancing out where it needs to. The market itself is looking healthy. The stock market's looking healthy. The real estate market's looking healthy. So
it's going to be a cold summer.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. It's going to be really good.
It's going to be ice out there. Like, everyone's going to be buying properties, at least in Texas. So with that being said, let's hop on to the first topic of the day today. So like I said, let's celebrate first purple belt, bro. Let me whip you. Come on. There we go. Congrats on the purple.
Appreciate it.
I already knew you was going to get it from the jump. I already had a good feeling because you put in the time, you put in the work.
Right.
And you're a really good grappler. And a couple of times we did no-gi together. I think it was one time.
Right.
But you smashed the crap out of me. You had a really good stand-up. So I know your wrestling game was good. So transition over to the gi because we rolled a couple of times in the gi, like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
In the past couple months, and I saw your game improve a lot in the past couple months, like rapid scale, because you were just taking advantage of, like you were utilizing your time the right way. You were putting intent towards it.
Yeah, I was putting in about 3 hours a week. Nothing crazy, nothing more than that. But other than that, man, I think I took about a year off from the gi, give or take, and hopped back into it. And I mean, you don't lose any skill. It's muscle memory. The only thing you fucking feel is the fingers,
grips. Yeah,
that's it. But nothing crazy.
That's the first thing to let go.
Yeah, I feel like the gi's a lot easier.
This shit
than
is. Yeah, if anyone want to zoom into my fingers, it's like weirdly, awkwardly shaped.
Yeah, you got to put lotion in certain parts of the freaking fingers. Yeah, I know for sure. But gi's fun, man. I stopped doing it for a while just because I kind of felt like it was boring. But I mean, it is what it is. Hopped back in and I realized, it's not that boring. It's just freaking. There's certain factors that were making it boring for me at that time. But no-gi's a lot more fun. You got to be a lot more athletic in
sure.
it. Your wrestling has to be on point, and you got to be able to push the pace. Gi's a lot more slowed down, but at the same time, I think it's a little bit easier in a sense. I mean, you have like the lapels, you have the grips, you have all the freaking different parts of like the actual kimono to grab onto. So it's a lot different than
the tension. It's not the word, but like the fabric itself, like you said, the kimono, it's gonna slow the game down.
For sure.
So you have to be a lot more technical, and if you're a sweaty motherfucker, I could just slip out of you.
Right. I mean, I'll tell you this: the leg locks are a lot easier. Arm bars are a lot easier. I mean, a no-gi, everybody's slipping out of that stuff because they're freaking wet and freaking sweaty and all that good stuff. But I mean, I've been having a good time with the gi. I got promoted finally. That was good. Been training for 5 years, so it was a good cap on. Feather in my cap getting a purple belt. So I always hear like once you get purple belt, I mean you're more closer to a black belt than you were previously. So that's the obvious, but it's a good feeling.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to that at the when we're tying things up at the end. But yeah, let's celebrate. So that was your first big win, but right before you got your purple belt, like what was it? A couple weeks before that, you passed your broker exam?
Yeah, I think it's like 2 weeks before that. I took my broker's exam, passed it. Man, I was cramming for that shit. It was a little difficult, man. Like real estate commission, especially the Texas real estate commission, they throw you off with a lot of the questions. You know a lot of the knowledge, but man, the way they word it's very confusing. And it's funny is like most of the stuff is stuff but like the wording is definitely you got to take your practice exams and stuff like that. And I did. I crammed and made it happen. So I mean, fully licensed broker in the state of Texas, freaking purple belt as well. So I mean, got those 2 dubs this month and
nice.
Just continue stacking, right?
Yeah, bro. And how does what doors does a broker license open as opposed to an agent license?
So the main difference between just a regular traditional real estate agent license and a broker's license is just credibility. I mean, you're doing almost the same thing, but if you're a broker, more often than not, you're like the office manager and you're the head of the brokerage itself. I mean, you could be a broker and run a team or do your own stuff individually, right? But more often than not, you have your own team, you have your own like brokerage under you. And I mean, as far as like talking to consumers or other investors, I mean, it's more credibility. I can say, hey, what's going on? My name's Nass. I'm a licensed agent. Oh, cool. How many licensed agents are there in the city of Houston? Thousands, right? Tens of thousands, to be completely honest with you. Right. But there's a fewer number of brokers in, let's say, whatever like market you're in. So it's a smaller number, and it just gives you more credibility. And also, like, you study more, you know more, you have a lot more delegations to handle. You also got a lot more responsibility and freaking. That's the main things, the responsibilities, man.
That was actually one of the questions I was going to ask you. Like, crap, I wrote it down here too. Crap.
No, but you're definitely held to a different standard, man. As far as like, if something goes wrong, like you should know better by being a broker. Like you're just held to that standard. When you're just a regular traditional agent, I mean,
you answer the question.
Yeah, you can answer the questions and all stuff, but you're not held to the same standard. Like when you're a broker, it's like, hey, you should know better. So in that sense, like if something went wrong, you are more than likely not going to get off the hook because you should have known better.
Yeah, that was the question. Like, just know how to delegate better. Like,
sure.
For sure, because you're being smarter, you're on another level, and like you said, you're like an office manager at this time.
Right.
And you have agents underneath you. So you just pretty much, you got to be a better coach, have more patience and thicker skin, I guess, because you're going to be dealing with a lot more shit, right?
For sure. I mean, you're going to have your seasoned agents you're going to deal with that have their own play, that have their own model, that know how to make money. And you're also going to have like your green agents that are looking to you for that mentorship. Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? They've never done it. You've done it a million times. They're doing it for the first time. So answering those questions without being frustrated is a big thing. I'm pretty good about it. If my guys ask me a question, I'm gonna answer it. More than likely, I'm gonna always know the answer. If I'm not, then I'm gonna go back to the textbooks and just freaking look for it, right? So I mean, that's just what it is. But as far as like delegation, I mean, I'm not out there running the play anymore. You know,
that's what's up.
I still get leads 24/7, but it's more of just passing them down to my team to handle. Obviously, I'll run some myself when the time comes, or if I have gaps in my schedule. But at the same time, it's just being a master delegator and passing it down to your guys to make happen, and having the trust that they can actually make it happen. You know,
right? And that's the part of the business. You know, you're on the real estate side. I'm on the advisory side more.
Right.
That's the part of the business I'm getting used to now, because I'm used to running my own play. You feel me? And now I'm in a position where I've built a team of executives and team of associates, where I'm just like, crap, I want to be in the field, but I know I can make use of my time a lot better making leadership plays. How am I going to scale my business?
For sure. And that was like one of the hardest parts for me is getting out of the field. Like, I feel like I have a lot of fun looking at the properties we're purchasing, freaking going to different events, shaking hands with different people, you know, going to meet people in different offices, stopping in different brokerages. What's going on? Here's my value add. This is how I can help you guys in your model. But, you know, at the same time, when you grow when you grow your business to a certain level, you got way more moving parts going on than you freaking can even fathom. Right. And the moment you start scaling is where you're getting pulled in way, like, too many different directions, which is a point where we are. I was telling you the other day, not even the other day, today, I was like, man, I've been wanting to pull out my hair sometimes. I was like, at the same time, that's the position we're in today, right? Because we're scaling at a forced level. So by scaling at that level, we're getting pushed in different directions, but we're learning to just delegate different things to different teammates, onboarding people that are freaking masters of whatever skill set they are, and just freaking having all these moving parts, but learning how to delegate them and manage them correctly. With doing all that stuff, like, being in the field isn't precedence. It does not take precedence at all. I have teammates for that. I have my guys under me, my agents, my analysts.
And you trust them.
That I trust. I wouldn't have hired them if I didn't trust them. Right?
Exactly, bro. So, dude, you just answered all the fucking questions without me even trying to go through it. It's like you memorized the show notes I sent you. All right, so let's hop into property management. You know, we've been talking about this lately, and thank you, ChatGPT. Learn how to use fucking AI, guys. AI is freaking useful. AI, business owners, you're going to benefit from it. There are people that know how to use it the right way and people who use AI the wrong way. Those people that use it the wrong way are the reason why every new technology, like discovery and technology, gets a bad rap. So please use technology and any new coming in innovation the right way. And let me get back into it.
So let me just get started on the property manager side.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that we really didn't expect to get into
for
immediately.
Real.
Is one of the things
that's why I never hit you up about it, because I didn't think
toss
about
it our lap.
Right.
And you know, when you do what we do at the scale we do, you're going to have your investors, whether they're your institutional clients or your local investors, your local accredited investors that buy whatever single family property for you or whatever small unit complex. Mm-hmm. And I mean, more often than not, if they're novice, they don't have their own team of property managers or any of those ball rolling, like, they're going to look, hey, do you have anybody you can refer? And we've found ourselves in that position so many times. And it's great referring. I love being a big person on leaning on the referral network, but at the same time, like, once we got the broker's license, it's one of those things like, why are we referring when we could do it in-house? You know, we have our own buy and holds that we freaking manage ourselves. You know, not at scale like the other, like, big boys on the block, right? But we're slowly building our own portfolio up while we're managing our other clients' portfolios on that end. So it's one of those things where it's just like, it just happened at the right time. And, you know, we didn't expect to get into it this year. It was one of those things like, all right, it's maybe like a next year thing or a 2027 thing, but we get tossed all these opportunities in our lab. Like, all right, cool, it's time to start running. So right now we're managing about 40 units, and these are just 2 multifamilies. And those are just referrals that got tossed in our lap immediately, plus our own portfolio of like single families. So it's just one of those things like you just jump into it, and you get your ducks in a row, you get your back end of it set up. And I mean, we're still setting up a few things on that end, but as far as getting freaking all the different places for like onboarding and having our freaking rent rolls and freaking T12s, that's all set up. Like our back end is good, but we're still just crossing our T's and dotting our I's.
Just tweaking it a little.
Tweaking little things here and there, but that ball is rolling, and we just get refused all the time. We got hit up yesterday about 190 unit a multifamily.
Nice.
And we were looking at that. I was like, all right, cool. And that's one thing I talked to my partner about. I was like, are we ready for this? Realistically, are we ready for that 190 units? Because at that point, that's about 230 units in total. That
I'm going to tell you this shit right now, NASA. You're ready for it, okay?
Right.
If you ain't going to know it, you in your head, look, you're living in your head just like me. Saying, oh, I'm not ready for it. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're ready for it. You're ready for the next step. You just got to, cross. Execute. Yeah, you just got to open that door and just walk right the fuck in, because no one's going to do it for you.
We're probably going to have to hire 2 more people on the property management side. One person to stay at the complex themselves, and then another freaking maintenance guy, because 190 units is a lot. One maintenance guy is not going to be able to
That's 230 doors, like you said.
230 doors altogether with that. So plus managing acquisitions, dispositions, managing our institutional clients, managing our free development project, managing our portfolio. So it's a lot of moving parts. Making sure everybody's doing stuff the right way.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Facts, bro. And, a lot of people think, you just mentioned it, too. People think property management is passive, right?
It can be. Yeah. It can be if you automate it correctly. It did.
Correct.
I mean, we've looked at the plan itself and what we got going on currently, and it definitely can be automated. It can almost be passive. But you got to stabilize it first. If it's not stabilized, it's not passive. Once it's stabilized, everything's fixed, all deferred maintenances are done, and like it's stabilized. Let's keep it at that. Once it's stabilized at that point, then it can be passive. But until then, I mean, you're working day in, day out to get it done. Because guess what happens if you got too much vacancy? You got the owner, hey, what the fuck's going on here,
Yeah, I'm at an L right now. I'm taking a loss, and there's a shortfall. Why is my mortgage higher than my, rent roll right now?
And even at that, I mean, vacancy can be 20 units. Vacancy can be 2 units. Vacancy is vacancy. And that's one of the main things about being a property manager is that you have to make sure that all spots are filled.
And what's the number you look for when it comes to, like, occupancy? 95%. What's a good success rate?
I mean,
to make someone happy.
95% is where you got like a couple units just vacant at that point. I mean, it depends on the size. I mean, 90% of the 10 unit is 1 unit vacant.
Right.
So I mean that's okay, but we always want to aim for 100% occupancy. That's just what it is.
Right. Like in the hotel industry, like hospitality service industry, the guys I help finance, that's one of the most important things lenders look into. As a broker, I'm just there being the middleman.
You're not going to get lending on a freaking 100% vacant freaking complex or hotel. That's just what it is. They want to see occupancy. They want to see cash flow.
Yeah, they want to see at least 60 to 70%. And those...
minimum, right?
Yeah, and it's still getting denied, because I have hotel owners in Miami, Orlando, right? And it's still hard to get them approved for 60 to 70% conventional.
What do lenders want to see right now as far as occupancy for multifamily or hotels right now?
It's like somewhere between 80 to 90. Like high 80, low 90s at most.
Sweet spot, just try to be at 90 then.
Right, basically. Like, property management for residential units for you, it's okay.
Sure.
Like 85, 90 is just fine as long as you're making over the debt service coverage. It could cover the debt service, the DSCR.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that said, some fun questions more for you. All right. What's more dangerous, bro? A toxic tenant or a D1 wrestler on the mats in Nogi?
Toxic tenant. A toxic tenant will freaking figure out their rights and freaking drag you through the ringer. A D1 wrestler, man, I mean, you just got to catch them at the right time. I mean, more than likely they're not going to have too much submission skills. So it's like, whatever, if I'm on bottom or top, I'm going to get you. It is what it is. But toxic tenant is definitely more, let's just say that's a perfect word for it, toxic tenant. Because they will know their rights. They will drag you through the ringer. They will lie. They will cheat. And they will steal.
Eddie Guerrero? What's up, fam? The BJJ Lender here, also known as Sham. If you're serious about transforming your overall health and wellness, you need to check out Simple Peptides. These peptides are a real game changer for weight loss, muscle recovery, and performance, and so much more. They've helped me push through intense jiu-jitsu sessions and recover faster so I can train smarter and longer. Ready to see the difference for yourself? Head over to simplepeptides.com and use my affiliate code Shamier, that's SHAMIER, at checkout to get 10% off your next order. Don't wait. Upgrade your training and recovery and your lifestyle with Simple Peptides today. Shop now at simplepeptides.com and enter code Shamier at checkout. Train hard, recover smart, and I'll see you on the mats. Rest in peace. Yep. All right. Crap. What was I going to say? Okay, I'm looking at the question sheet, but I still blank out. Toxic tenant. Oh yeah. What would you be your submission preference on that? A choke or breaking their limbs like a Kimura?
In on
Toxic
a wrestler
tenant.
or a toxic tenant?
Tenant.
Oh, I'm gonna choke him out.
Yeah, you don't want to take no. You just want to put him to sleep. You don't want to leave no. Right. All right. So this part is my part, guys. All right. Taking a little intermission with NASA. All right. NASA, feel free to chime in because you know it's the real estate industry at the end of the day. Today we're going to talk about the REP status, the real estate professional status, which is a title, occupation you could claim in your tax returns. All right. Most investors think real estate losses are passive. All right. But with the REP status, you can unlock the whole playbook and apply losses against active income. That's how the wealthy pay less taxes and buy more real estate. At the end of the day, it's all about putting in paper losses. Like the IRS and the tax code is made for not just business owners, but real estate investors. They want you to utilize the tax codes that are available to you so that you can freaking save money and take paper losses. So why don't you take advantage of that? So in order to, the ways you could qualify for REP professional status is a minimum of 750 hours per year in real estate activities. It must be more than 50% of your total working hours. That's number 2. And if you guys are married and you file jointly and you have a stay-at-home husband or a wife, they're the ones that are going to qualify, and they could claim REP on a joint return, you know? And here's why REP status is powerful, because you can use cost seg, you can use bonus depreciation. And by the way, Paul, just a segue into bonus depreciation. You read the news?
What happened?
You can start bonus depreciation is available now for the IRS. Stated it, thanks to the president once again, and it's going to backdate all the way to January 1st of 2025, all the way until December 31st to 2029. Last I checked.
What does that really entail?
Yeah. So that means you could write off 100%, and you could do an accelerated depreciation on your asset, whether it be the new car that you bought for your business, the Porsche, or the Ram, the Raptor you got outside, and just take a cost seg or depreciate the shit out of it, and just take that, expense it and write it off in your tax return, instead of taking 3 to 5%, et cetera, on a 27.5-year depreciation asset on your real estate property, rental property. You could take it, accelerate it all in one shot. Really? And the best part about that is, hey, a client making $300,000, let's say a tech bro in Silicon Valley or Seattle, in the prime hubs.
They're probably not making $300,000. They're probably making a little bit more than that.
Yeah, they're making a way more than that.
Yeah,
bro.
for sure.
You could write off 100 G's in losses, and you could still save $30,000 to $40,000 in taxes. Money that can go directly back into real estate, into insurance or investments or retirement planning. So you're still building generational wealth with that $30,000, $40,000 that you save this year on taxes. And guess what? It's not just going to be this year. It's going to be next year. You're just going to defer till you fucking die. So that $30,000, $40,000 each and every year is going to compound, and it's going to go back into your account, or you go back to SmartVest and you reinvest that money if you want to be smart. That's why you're smart and invest.
with it.
And just put that 30, 40K into 2 or 3 rental properties, basically. So with this status, these losses can offset your W-2, 1099, or business income. All right. So here's some things I want to point out, and NASA and I pointed this out last time we spoke. All right. It's very important to keep detailed time logs. It's just like clocking in and out of work. If you want to claim 750 hours or plus as a real estate professional, put in the time. Right. Log the dates, the hours that you did. It's just like, logging into work, clocking in, clocking out, or clocking in on the mats and clocking out the mats. Yep. You're not gonna get any results unless you log in those hours on the mats or to log in those hours in the book. Like, no one's gonna believe you. Like, right. P, you could say I did 21 hours of jiu-jitsu this week, but is it logged in? Like, can you see it on the fucking camera? Like, it has to be, because if you're gonna go check out a rental property and you don't have a property management backing you, and you're the one doing, self-managing all these properties, you better fucking log it, because when it comes to an audit, that 1% chance or 0.001% chance the IRS decides to audit you, you better be ready. You better come correct, y'all. With that, on top of detailed time logs, some examples you could use is Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets, whatever the fuck for your accountant, and must materially participate, meaning if you're using a property manager, log that shit, show proof. Use your spouse to qualify if you're a W-2 income, 1099, whatever type of, income earner you are, and you can hit the hours. Let your wife or let your, husband, let your partner hit the road and log those hours in. Okay, there's a leak in the ceiling. You want to prove that you went to it? All right, log it in. All right, that's the only way I could believe you. All right. Here are some red flags. You can't prove time, you're done. All right, you're using a property manager and you're claiming you're doing the work, you're fucked. That's a big red flag. No documentation equals no deduction. Log your hours in like you log your rolls. All right. What do you got to say about that? You knew about that though, right?
I mean, I knew about that, but I mean, at the same time, you definitely want to have records of everything. I mean, if you have your PM, make sure your PM has all the records of everything that's been done as far as maintenance, as far as what's going on with your properties. I mean, you just got to be a master at keeping files. And I'm not saying have a file cabinet and just a bunch of receipts. It's 2025. I mean, you
got apps for that.
You got apps for that. You got different freaking platforms to do all that good stuff. I mean, you got shit like QuickBooks. I mean,
I was about to say,
yeah, you got QuickBooks, man. I mean, if you're not using QuickBooks, this is stuff that I figured out a couple years ago. Like getting in, like doing it on my own side instead of working for a company. It's like, all right, that shit really does matter. And
for real,
you learn every day, right?
I'm not even gonna lie. I just started using QuickBooks 3 days ago.
Really?
Because my CTO, shout out to you, Dev. My CTO kind of kicked me in the ass and said, "Yo, you've been procrastinating on this QuickBooks shit for the since you listed me as named me as CTO for Fortitude, Right. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm just so busy scaling and focusing on the business right now. I really don't have time to learn a new skill.
Yeah, I've literally been there in that same position for the same thing as well. It's like, as a business owner, like doing taxes and all that stuff it's one of those things you just, what's the word for it?
You just put off to the side because...
Yeah, I guess procrastinate is probably the better word for it. But you put it to the side so much because you're so focused on making the money and doing everything to freaking profit in your company that paying taxes is your least worry. But realistically, it shouldn't be your least worry. It should be something that you shouldn't even be really worried about it. Right. You should just make sure you do it correctly. And that's if you don't have your freaking books in check, I mean, you're on the road to failure. That's just what it is.
Bro, I'm old school. I'm the type of dude that logs it in on his own in a spreadsheet. Like, you know this. My pops was a military guy, just like you, bro. I'm just old school. File, keep your receipts. I keep my cabinets are full, and now it's just like my wife, my marketing manager, my chief marketing officer Rose, and my CTO Dev. They're just like, dude, it's 2025. Learn how to use fucking Google Drive.
Yeah, I mean, Google Drive's been our best friend. I mean, Google Drive definitely helps. QuickBooks definitely helps.
And I know you be seeing those Google Drive like updates I be sending you all the time.
Sure.
I open a new document, you get it right away.
Yeah, I mean, our company's very Google driven. That's just what we use on our end as well. So, I mean, getting used to even using Google Drive was hard for me because the company I was in before.
Because I'm used to just clicking on Microsoft Word or Excel.
Well, it was so automated to where you didn't have to do any of this stuff. But, you know, once you become a business owner and you're worried about, like, the actual back end of the business, that's where that comes into play. You know, then you're creating your own CRMs. You're doing this and that. Right. So, I mean, the back end of the business is something that you shouldn't forget about, and that's something that I'm getting better about to this day. Because I can manage, I can do all this stuff, but at the same time, the back end, without the back end, none of it fucking matters. And that's just really what it is.
HR is HR always. Operations and HR.
Yeah. So that's definitely what it is. But you know, you're getting better every day. You're learning different things. I mean, I'm a 28-year-old business owner. I mean, come on, you expect me to?
You're in your prime, dog.
Right.
This is when you're supposed to start a business. 27, 28. No offense to the, you know, influencers out there that's going to, you know, feel offended by this.
No, I'll
17,
offense.
18, 19. Yeah. 17, 18, 21-year-olds starting a business, you have no place to do it. But if you're making the money, still come to me, okay? I'll still manage your money. I'll still set up your portfolio for you and structure your, you know, legal stuff for you, okay? Hit me up for Fortitude, and if you want to write off some taxes and buy some property, go to NASA. But with that being said, you do not have the maturity unless you're one of the very few 1%ers.
They're out there. They're definitely out there. I've met a few guys where it's like, how are you? And they're like in their early 20s. I'm like, man, good for you. I was like, I wish I was in that position. I mean, I was in that position around like 23s when I first got into real estate.
Right.
I had that drive. I had
but
that,
dude,
that
you
confidence.
came from the core.
Yeah.
You already
I was already
you're 23 walking on 43, my dude. Like and that's a compliment. That's not even
no, I take it as a compliment for sure.
Yeah, you were 23 walking 43, doing time ages you.
For sure.
Like, you know, being
what's
serving
funny
time.
It's funny that you say that because I talk about that with guys I know that have been in prison. I was like, man, you know what's funny? Guys in the Marine Corps, especially the infantry, we always talk about like, yeah, we just got out. We just did our bid. Like basically, we just did our enlistment.
You did your 4-6 years.
We did our bid and we were out. I was like, man, you sound like you went to prison. Like, man, it's a lot like prison, the infantry, except you get the weekends off sometimes. But you know what, man? It was a good time, and it definitely set me up for success to be in this position today. Because I see guys that got into real estate probably the same time as me, around like their early 20s, and I mean, I'm levels above them. Like, it's not even funny, man. Like, it's kind of like one of those things. Like, wow, like I'm grateful for it because one, I make hundreds of thousands more than everybody combined. Right. So it's like it's just crazy.
And you're working smarter,
not harder.
Right.
Company's name is SmartVest, so you know,
facts.
Yeah, I'll probably do a little hat tip to that.
Yeah. All right, let's hop into the last topic of the day because both of us got to go have some fun. So this is a fun topic, actually. This is combining both of our worlds, jiu-jitsu and real estate, right? So now that we got your purple belt, all right, NASA, how would you say jiu-jitsu has helped you in running your business, operating your business, and just your negotiation skills, bro?
Man, I'll say this. I talk about this all the time, how jiu-jitsu's helped me in my business. And what I think the main thing it's helped me is I started jiu-jitsu the same time I started real estate 5 years ago.
White belt mindset.
Literally. And I've been as consistent in jiu-jitsu as I've been in real estate. And they've gone hand in hand since day one. And that's one thing I can attest my consistency to is like being consistent with that. When I'm having a bad day, shit's hitting the fan, and I go train in the evening, and I freaking put the pause on whoever I'm fighting that day, and I come in with some dubs on my shoulder, like, it makes my day so much better. You could be having the worst day, and you leave jits, and you're like, all right, man, that wasn't the worst thing. I was like, you'll get beat up by some freaking D1 wrestler or something like that. You're like, all right, that sucked, but what happened earlier in the day didn't suck as bad as that.
Right.
And it really, one, humbles you. It also just opens your mind up, like, man, like, stuff really ain't that bad.
Real. It puts things into perspective,
But
man.
at the same time, like, when you get into real estate and you're kind of running with your running like a chicken with their head cut off. It's almost the same thing in jiu-jitsu because you don't know what the fuck's going on. You're getting taught all these different fundamentals.
At least the first like year.
Yeah,
People say the first 6 months.
I think it's the
really
first 2
year.
years.
Yeah,
I think it's the first 2 years. To be
and
honest,
when you get your blue belt, you still don't know jack shit. It's
Right.
just like, okay, you know the base.
you know the fundamentals, you know,
Yeah,
that's
and
the
you
thing.
still don't know how to do it.
You can hit the fundamentals all day, right? But at the same time, like you're learning. And where I'm at now, like I'm in class, and let's say we're going over some very, very basic fundamental thing, like let's say we're setting up a triangle choke a certain way, right? It's like you're catching stuff that you didn't catch a couple years ago when you were a white belt, when you were a blue belt, and you're just getting better. It's the same thing as like doing stuff in real estate right now at this age. Like, oh, I experienced that 4 years ago, but I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Right.
And then now I know exactly how to freaking nip it on the bud.
Or structure a deal properly.
Or structure a deal properly. I mean, for sure. But I think jiu-jitsu is going hand in hand. It's definitely helped me with being consistent in my business. And it's just, I've been doing it as long as I've been in real estate. And I don't ever plan on getting out of real estate, so I probably don't ever plan on getting out of jiu-jitsu either.
Right.
So, you know,
It's like the same thing. Same thing with jits and financial advisor in real estate. I pick and choose my spots. As purple belts now, we're in the middle echelon, okay? We're in the middle tier where we just graduated college. We did 4-year school. So the way I like to compare it is white belt to blue belt is just getting out of high school.
For sure.
You do your, you know, basics.
you still don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. And you just got to college at blue belt. Blue belt to purple belt is like you're in your 4-year college program, 2-year college program. If you came from like a D1 wrestling background or some fucking high school, you go for an associate's instead of your bachelor's. But when you get to purple belt, like you said, the attention's in the details, man. The proof is in the pudding, man. When someone like yesterday, Vitor was just showing us, one of our instructors, Vitor, he was showing us how to do a freaking triangle choke.
Right.
And I was not looking at the triangle choke. I was looking at how he was setting it up.
Right.
It's just like the tiniest details, like raising the hip, like shooting up. I wouldn't think about that 9 years ago when I first started jiu-jitsu, right? Like raising your hips or keeping that when you're crossing your leg over the head, when you're locking the head up, just curl, do a leg curl, your hamstrings so you're putting more pressure on the your teammate or your opponent's shoulder and your neck. You're pressing them down, so it just makes it more difficult for them to shoot back up.
I just talk about like time in the game too. Like, I remember like as a white belt, I would see, you know, different videos like a flying armbar. I'm like, wow, the fuck is that
Enrique.
possible? Yeah, Enrique can fucking, man, that's the flying armbar specialist right there. Yeah. But leg lock specialist at that too. But, you know, as a white belt, you see a flying armbar, you're like, what the, how is that even possible? And then like right now, as a purple belt, that's one thing I've been working on the last couple of weeks. It's like probably months is learning to set that up correctly. I mean, you can learn it all you want, right? But you really got to practice it when you're actually training and shit like that. I mean, you're not gonna hit a flying armbar on a black belt when you train against that. I mean, that's probably something you're gonna hit on a lower belt if you're training with them at that time because they don't really know what the fuck's going on. It's like, all right, cool, man, let's do this real quick.
They're like, holy shit, what the fuck did you just do?
You know, just doing stuff like that, stuff you couldn't even fathom as a white belt, as a pro belt, you're working on to perfect. I mean, it's the same thing as a freaking green agent. You know, before I was a broker or anything like that, there's stuff that you can even fathom. Like you make your first $3 or $4 grand check, like whoa. Just from one deal, this is crazy. Then you make a fucking 40 grand payday in a week, and you don't even really give a shit. You make freaking $6 grand here, then you make a 60K month. You make freaking 10 grand there. Now it's like you're hitting hundreds, and it's like, all right. I was talking to my uncle the other day. It's getting real. Getting used to making that magnitude of money, it gets real freaking. What's the word for it? Boring in a sense, I guess you could say that. Then you're always looking for the next thing. Like right now, like where I'm at is like, all right, cool. Like I'm doing all these different things, but you know, I still want to be chasing those unicorns here and there. You know.
Yeah, I'm taking my phone out in the middle. And it says text I sent you. I remember. Yeah, but keep talking, bro.
Yeah, there's like bigger deals out there. You know, like freaking bigger freaking commissions, bigger fees that are out there that are doable as hell. But it's like kind of taking off from like the smaller deals and just focusing on the big ones and doing stuff like that. Because you know, like when you do something long enough, like it gets real boring. It gets real regular. It gets real regular making that type of money. And you guys might think I'm gloating, but I'm not. You know, when you do something at a high level for a long time, you really will get it turns to a regular thing, even if you're making what people make in a year and a month. You know,
right? Like it's this thing I came across the other day and I texted you. I don't know if you saw it.
Yep.
Yeah, so what this says is making $20K a month seems impossible until you start hanging around people who make $20K in a day.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, we still have problems. We're human beings. Our type of problems are different type of problems because the truth is, I'm a, like I told NASA, I'm probably the brokest motherfucker in my group of friends. And, you know, I'm pulling in like 50, 60 G's a month, you know?
Right.
And I'm the weakest link because guess what? You're probably pulling in 300 grand. Who knows what you're pulling in? My marketing manager, you know, my social media manager is doing almost 6 figures a month. And then my mentor, forget my mentor. That motherfucker's doing like...
There's levels to this shit,
yeah,
man.
there's levels to this shit. So, yeah. So it's who your network is. Your mind changes.
I'm gonna tell you something real quick, and it's gonna go hand in hand, and you could use it for business as a whole, not even just real estate,
right?
And jiu-jitsu. When I was hanging around guys that fucking sucked at jiu-jitsu, I sucked at jiu-jitsu. When I was hanging around guys that didn't make no money, I was still making money, but I'm thinking I'm the king because I'm making more than everybody.
Right.
Once I started hanging around with big dogs and make more than I do, double, triple, quadruple, that's where I'm like, oh, I'm a puppy in this field. Like, there's really levels to this shit. But now you're striving to catch up with them.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. If you're not surrounding yourself with people that are better than you, you're never going to be anything.
Right.
And that's where I'm at nowadays. I had that realization. As my wife like to say, oh, when your frontal lobe finally developed. But, you know, the same thing.
All our wives say that, bro.
In jiu-jitsu, when I hang around people that sucked, I sucked.
Right.
In real estate, when I hang around people that made less money than I did, I was cool with it. Until I started hanging around people that made way more than I did by magnitudes, where I started chasing that again.
Right.
You know, it's the hunger. You can be hungry as a white belt. You can be hungry as a freaking businessman.
Right.
Depends where you're at. But
and it's not even about the money. It's just competition. And at the end of the day, the money is just like a number in a scoreboard.
Right.
You're like, okay, NASA, you know, it's like, the NBA is going on right now, the playoffs. Okay. Anthony Edwards just put up, I don't know what he did, if he did, but like he put up 51 points. And Luka saw that. Luka Doncic, even though the Lakers are out of the playoffs, we don't talk about that. Luka Doncic probably saw like, you know, Edwards just put up 51 points. Holy shit.
Right.
Like, you're like, okay, I got to go out there and beat him.
Get back to practice.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'm going to put up 54 tomorrow.
Right.
And he goes up and puts up 54. And he's like, you know, post-game interview, just like LeBron or everyone, like, or how Kobe said, you know, Shaq told me to go out and get 50, and, you know, I decided to get 60 in my last game. Rest in peace, Kobe.
I'll talk about that with my sales reps, you know, my analysts. And, you know, we have
Healthy
these
competition.
guys have quotas. These guys have minimums, right? I tell them, it's like, when I was in your position, my manager gives me a freaking minimum, I'm doubling it. I'm tripling it because I fucking want it. That's just what it is. Yeah, then what's funny, you'll hit you'll surpass your peer. You max out instead of doing the minimums, and everyone's like, oh fuck, why is NASA making so much more money than all of us? Like crying, feeling bad for themselves. Like, hey, you fucking pussy, go out there and fucking do it. Go actually do it and stop doing below minimum, and maybe you would fucking be a big dog.
Man, this ain't even a story. Let me tell you something. So I was a top producing advisor in my team.
Right.
All right. My manager did not want to promote me. Why is that?
Jealousy.
Not jealousy, maybe, but he's getting overrides off me.
Right.
He's making a rip from me. So I was giving him majority of his passive override income.
Right.
Every month, and that's why he didn't want to promote me.
He didn't want to change your splits
because I'm his top producer, and the moment I get promoted to management,
he loses that.
Yeah.
Now he has to find another one.
Yeah, he has to go find another bull.
Yep.
And God's teach him from scratch. And we all know as business owners, onboarding a new person and training them to be successful takes a lot of time. Mm-hmm. All right, so now let's tie that back into jiu-jitsu, all right? So what is more stressful, being in the finals of a tournament or managing a pissed-off tenant? We already know which one's more stressful.
Man, I haven't had a lot of success in competition. I haven't competed in years, but I'm just going to go on a limb and say a pissed-off tenant.
Yeah.
Those are the worst. Those are the ones you can't hide from. Those are the ones that, hey, if shit goes wrong on your end and you're in the wrong as a owner of a property or as just a property manager in general, like you're held liable. You have more. you're more at liability than being in a competition where
you put yourself in that situation.
For sure.
You put yourself in that situation. So what's there to lose? Win
Exactly.
or lose, We're still going to be there, and we're got to let's hop off in like 2 minutes. But yeah, you put yourself in that position. Like, you signed up, you registered for that tournament. So you're in a controlled environment where everything is under your control. Win or lose, it don't matter.
Or like a tenant, it's an outside, it's an external
variable.
An external variable where you can't control that. That stuff's gonna happen. You're gonna get a leak that you don't expect. Even if your property's pristine, like you'll get stuff like that messes up. I mean, I live in a freaking high rise in downtown, a badass building, but there's still stuff that fucks up. Like, I had the AC go out freaking last summer, not because it was messed up, because a freaking trip on the breaker happened.
I remember that.
And that happened. I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, we're paying all this money for that?
What, the hurricane or something?
It wasn't a hurricane. It was just a random.
Right? Yeah.
It was a random trip in the electrical panel, but it was easy. It's an easy fix, But even at that, like in a building like that, you can still run into those problems. Facts. And I mean, it was good. I mean, when you pay the money I pay for rent, like you're freaking. Your maintenance people are there pretty fucking quickly. So I mean, they were there within an hour, which was good.
Not bad at all. Not bad. What mindset do you take from the mats into the conference room or the deal room?
Kill. That's the mindset I take. Kill. I'm not saying kill my peers, but kill my competition. And even if you take that L, keep moving forward, because like you're chasing the kill. You're going hunting. Like right. That's the mindset I take. When I go on the mats, I'm not there to just freaking hang out, have fun, and freaking talk to my friends in the middle. Like, I'm there to fucking whoop ass.
We talk, but in the middle of our roles, what do you hear me saying? Grunting and saying, fuck you. Fuck you, NASA.
No, yeah. I mean,
it's out of love, man.
It's just being a killer, man. Having that killer mentality.
Yeah, healthy competition.
Healthy competition, but like always hunting. Always hunting. Whether I'm hunting for a submission or I'm hunting for the next freaking deal, that's just what it is. Right. But having that killer mentality, that's what it takes.
Mm-hmm. So big shout out to you, my brother. Once again, it's like every month you pull up over here, we're celebrating some kind of win for you. The first time you pulled up was you just got married. You had a destination wedding. It was popping as fuck. Number two. And the third. This is the third time
we can't even remember the dubs. There's so many dubs. Every time we come back, we come with dubs.
Yeah, all big or small, always. Like we're celebrating the fact you got a purple belt, which is a big win. Getting a broker license, which is a big win, but at the same time a small win because you've been doing this
for so long.
So long that it's just a piece of paper to give you the credentials to say, okay, I could be a supervisor and I could manage my own office, even though you've been doing that for 5-6 years now, bro. So big shout out to you, bro. Purple belt, broker, property manager, and a SmartVest Savage. Yes, all right. If you're looking to build that
SmartVest Savage.
Facts. If you're looking to build that real estate empire, you already know who to call. They know how to, they know how to find you. Go tell them how to find them.
Yeah, you can find us on social media at SmartVest Capital, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook. And if you need to get in contact with myself, info at smartvest-texas.com. Texas fully spelled out. But yeah, if you guys have any questions regarding like real estate investments or your current asset and your current portfolios, give me a call, shoot me an email, hit us up in the DMs on social medias. But we're more
very responsive, y'all. Yeah, very responsive. He'll reply back to you within, if not an hour, before the end of the day.
Yeah,
max. And I know that because we DM each other every day.
Yep.
So, but with that being said, like you said, follow SmartVest Capital on IG, on the handles. Okay, you're available on Facebook, I believe, right?
Yep.
All right. Same thing goes for 42 Strategic Solutions, available on Facebook. My personal handle, the BJJ Lender, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, get those view counts up. You already know what it is. Before we go, I just want to say, we're SmartVest and 42 is working on something special for a platform to connect real estate investors into, financial advisory and wealth management. When that comes into fruition, we're going to, announce it on social media. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a really hot summer. And with further ado, thank you, my brother.
Let's get it.
Yep. Thanks for another episode. Peace. Yeah. Oh, right on time.
Right on time.
55 minutes, guys.
All right. Back to it.